goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back again with a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. Today is the day. Well, actually, tomorrow is the day where the Carolina Panthers have to cut the roster down to the final 53-man roster we're going to be taking into the 2020 season. But today, I'm going to be giving my prediction, my projection on what the roster is going to look like. But it's going to be a slightly different twist because I'm not going to be doing a full prediction. I'm going to be saying which players I would keep on my 53-man roster. I think the team will have the same kind of thought process, but it is possible that maybe one or two position groups, I keep one extra player than the team might be interested in. And that's because I want to see exciting football, and it may not really work out as well with, building a well-balanced team on the other side of the ball. But I'm going to be getting to that very soon because we're going to jump right into this roster projection, starting with the quarterbacks. And look, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm keeping all three. I want Teddy Bridgewater. I want Will Grier. I want PJ Walker. After hearing that report from Rev Rule saying that if the team does keep three quarterbacks, the competition is going to last throughout the season, week to week. If he's not just lying to keep the media and other teams off our trail of what we want to do once we get our roster set and there may be other guys who become available from other teams, then this kind of implies that there isn't that big of a gap between PJ Walker and Will Grier. And I do want to see strong competition from both these guys because I want to see both these guys succeed. I don't really care either way which one of these guys wins the backup role. All I care about is that the best backup gets that spot so that if Teddy Bridgewater does get hurt, something does happen, which I hope doesn't happen at all. But if he does get hurt, then we have the best player we could have had right there behind him. So I'm keeping all three quarterbacks. I'm also keeping three running backs. I want C-Mac. I want Reggie. I want Mike Davis. I believed in Jordan Scarlett, but obviously the team did not. I would have had him on my list if he was still on the roster, the 89-man roster. The thing about these three guys is they're all three dual threat running backs. They can catch the ball, and that makes them very valuable in this Joe Brady offense where the ball is going to be getting spread out a lot between all these different targets, and that's going to be a big talking point about the whole offense, honestly, and why I construct this roster the way I do. So keeping all three running backs, I think, is a pretty good plan moving forward. Moving on to wide receiver, I'm keeping 7. I think what's standard in the NFL is keeping 6, but like I just mentioned, I want to see what this Joe Brady offense looks like. I want to see exactly what we're going to get out of Teddy Bridgewater. I want to test both of them. So I'm going to keep DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. I'm going to keep Robbie Anderson, Seth Roberts, Keith Kirkwood. I'm going to keep Brandon Zylstra, and I'm also going to keep Farrell Cooper, not so much for what he does on offense, but because he can really bring some, hopefully, some kind of production. Look, the bar is set real low for Farrell Cooper and returning punts and kicks. Just do not fumble. Please catch the ball when it's falling from the air. It's you and the ball. Please just catch it. If he can do that, then he's already magnitudes better than anything we had at any point last season. So Farrell Cooper, you are the 7th guy. You're a receiver, so it kind of counts as receiver. If you want to call him a KR, PR, then I'm only keeping 6 receivers, but the title doesn't really matter. You're keeping 7 receivers. I want to see what all these guys can do. And as a side note, I'm going to talk about Omar Bayless a little bit later in this video when I get to my last guys in and out portion of it. So we'll get to him in a second. I'm also going to keep a fullback. Alex Armour's been on the team for a minute now. He's on the team no matter what. He's valuable to the team. He brings a lot to the table. So I'm cool with Alex Armour being on the roster still. What I think sets my list or my prediction apart from maybe others is I'm going to keep 3 tight ends. I'm keeping Ian Thomas, who I believe had his growth a little bit stunted by Ron Rivera hating younger players, not letting them have opportunities to play in these games, and then ignoring the whole position group of tight end last year. Even when we did have Greg Olsen there, it was a bad situation. It is what it is. That's what you come to expect from Ron. Missed opportunities, Rivera. And as much as I like the dude personally and wish him health in his situation he's going through right now with cancer, I'm not going to miss that part of the way he coached this team. And I'm also going to keep Chris Manhertz, who has been a blocking tight end for most of his career, but we saw that Teddy Bridgewater really wants to focus on helping him become more of a receiving threat. And the more receivers we have on the team, the better we can test this Joe Brady offense. Makes it easier to see how our future is going to go. And the more we can test and see what Teddy Bridgewater has, maybe we can really keep him for an extra year. We don't have to go into the draft early next season and try to get a quarterback. Maybe we can get 2 really good seasons out of Teddy. Maybe even the full contract of 3. That would be pretty damn good. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm also going to keep Tamarick Hemingway because he is also really good at blocking and he's just a big body over there. If Tamarick Hemingway can give us what he does on special teams, but he can also be maybe a red zone / end zone threat. One of these guys who you don't really expect, but you have him on the field. They're thinking, okay, he's just going to be out here blocking. Don't really have to put anyone on Tamarick Hemingway. And he slips out to the front corner or is just sitting there in the middle of the zone of the defense. Tamarick Hemingway has a body and he has a reach and he probably can get up there. I haven't really seen him jump too much, but he can probably get up. He probably has some bunnies himself. He probably played basketball himself as well. He could be a sleeper threat in this passing offense. Not too often, he's a sleeper. But Tamarick Hemingway could bring something to the table, and having an extra blocker somewhere who can also have impact other places is why I kept him. And that's also why I only keep 2 players at each position on the O-line. And that's probably where my list differs a lot from other projections you're probably going to see. I'm keeping Matt Paradis and Tyler Larson at center. I'm keeping John Miller and Brandon Bowen at left guard. At right guard, I'm keeping Dennis Staley, and it's going to be Michael Schofield. At left tackle, I have Russell Okung and Greg Little. And at right tackle, I have Taylor Moton and Matt Caskey. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know all that much about Matt Caskey. I can't really break down what I see from him, what he does well, what he doesn't do too well. That could be one of those, last guys in, first guys out situations where take your pick on any one of the O-linemen that I kept out of this list. Close your eyes and say, I would rather have him than Matt Caskey. Sure, that's cool with me. So I kept 27 players on the offense of the 53. And as we know, we need a kicker in Joey Sly, a punter in Corey Vedvik, and JJ Jansen as our long snapper. And for all my mathematicians out there, did I pronounce that right? Nerds out there, if you can count, you know that only leaves 23 spots on defense. And there's a very good reason for that. It's because of everything we've been hearing from Rev Rule since the very start of camp. Really since he's been hired as the head coach of the Panthers. He's talked about positionless football, guys being versatile, guys having multiple responsibilities, guys being able to do more than one thing. I think we have guys who can play defensive end, who can play linebacker. We have safeties who can play linebacker. We have safeties who can play corner. We have guys who can do multiple things. So I don't know if we need to have a ton of guys who are backups and whatnot on defense. As long as we have dudes who can do one thing, but also something else, we can do as the saying says and kill 2 falcons with 1 stone. So at defensive tackle, I have Derek Brown, KK Short, I have Bravion Roy, and Zach Kerr. At defensive end, I have Brian Burns, we have YGM, F.A. Obata, and Stephen Weatherly. Both Zach Kerr and Stephen Weatherly, they're kind of rotational pieces who won't really get in the game, I don't think, too often. I think Bravion Roy kind of fits in there a little bit. But for the most part, I like everything I'm seeing from the front line of our defense. Respect all these dudes. I got love for them. I am 100% solid going in with 8. I can't do the thing is, counting is hard, right? All you math nerds out there, counting is hard, okay? 8 players on our roster for the DTs and defensive ends. For our outside linebackers, we got Shaq Thompson, we got JC Jermaine Carter, and Marquise Haynes. Now, Marquise Haynes is another young player who didn't really get a chance to play under Ron Rivera, but that's also because it's kind of hard based off his size and his skill set. Where exactly can he be very impactful consistently? It's kind of hard to find his spot and his role on the team given his skill set, but I think we can do something with them this upcoming season. For middle linebackers, I only have 2. It's Tyra Whitehead and Jordan Kunishek. These 2 guys work really well, I guess. They're like a yin and yang kind of thing. Tyra Whitehead is a supreme run-stopping linebacker who is big, he's strong, he will do everything he can in the run game. He is irrelevant in coverage. Passing downs, I don't like him. Jordan Kunashek, he's solid enough in his tackling, but where he really shines is coverage as a middle linebacker. I would probably say we may see Jordan Kunashek touch the field a little more often than even the Jordan Kunashek stands out there are expecting. I can see him touching the field just about every single passing situation. So third and medium to long. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see Jordan Kunashek touch the field and Tyra touch the bench. Now for the spots that really need a lot of help, where there's a lot of questions, I'm keeping 4 cornerbacks: Dante Jackson, Eli Apple, Troy Pride Jr., and Stanley Thomas Oliver. And in the interest of staying respectful throughout this whole video, my only breakdown of this position group is these are our cornerbacks. Moving on to strong safety, I like Jeremy Chin, Justin Burris, and TJ Green. This is where it gets even more confusing. Will Jeremy Chin play linebacker? Will he play strong safety? It begins to beg the question of scheme and where other guys are going to play. If we have Brian Burns playing defensive end, then who's playing linebacker? Is it going to be Jermaine Carter starting out there? And if we have Brian Burns playing linebacker, who's going to be our other edge guy opposite YGM? Is it going to be F.A. Abada playing those big minutes? Stephen Weatherly? I don't know all that much. So if we have Jeremy Chin playing linebacker and our linebacker core becomes Tyra Whitehead, Big Shaq, and Jeremy Chin, that sounds to me like a really good strategy. We'll just have Justin Burris start at strong safety, and TJ Green could be a slot corner. I don't really know who our slot corner is going to be. I don't even know who our CB2 is going to be. And that's even crazier because I don't even agree with who our CB1 is. It is what it is. Let's move on. Free safety, we have Trey Boston, obviously. We have Kenny Robinson and Natrell Jamerson. And this is where I want to get into my last guys in, first guys out section. Natrell Jamerson is solid enough, but I would kind of want to see what Myles Hartsfield could do. I don't know exactly who's better of the two, but we have heard a lot of good things about Myles Hartsfield during training camp. I can see either one of these. You can just close your eyes and point at the other two, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, if you really want to do it like that. These two could be the guy. You can interchange them if you really want to. I don't really mind. If you want to take someone off offense, I guess. But there's no one on the defense I would cut to keep both Natrell Jamerson and Myles Hartsfield on the roster. And then we get to Omar Bayless, who is on IR. He got injured not too long ago. He is going to have to stay out of the games until week 9 of this season. So he'll probably be on our protected practice squad list. There's 4 players you can put up there, and other teams cannot vulture off your practice squad of those 4 guys. So once it hits week 9, I expect Omar Bayless to join the wide receiver core. Is it going to be Keith Kirkwood, Farrell Cooper? I think that really depends mostly on what Farrell Cooper does in his fielding game against the punts and the kicks. If he's not doing too hot, we're going to just put DJ back there, and I can see us just bringing back Omar Bayless. And any other last guys in, first guys out, O-lineman depth, probably at tackle. Take your pick of the guys who I didn't mention already in this video. It is what it is. I wouldn't add many more players on defense. I think we're versatile enough to fill the roles wherever we need to. The problem isn't really the number of players. It's the amount of talent we really have on the defense. You really can't fix that right now. That's my thoughts on it, though. This 53-man roster, do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.